Now I'm giving back to you all the tools you gave to me. My hands, my ears, my voice, my eyes, so you can use them as you please. I have emptied out my cup so that you can fill it up. Now I'm free and I just want to be more available to you. Lord, I'm available to you. My will I give to you. I'll do what you say do. Use me, Lord, to show someone the way and enable me to say, oh, my storage is empty and I am available to you. Good morning, everybody. I hope that you are doing well and that you are safe. I just wanted to come on here just for a few minutes this morning. I was in my worship moment this morning, and that song came to mind, being available to God. Every day is a day that we have to continually give ourselves over or back over to God. It's a continual process, and especially with all that we're dealing with right now. A couple weeks ago, I was pruning back my bushes, and I hadn't ever done it before. They were growing very wildly, and I was really procrastinating with doing it because I didn't know what I was doing. And my dad had came over one time and was like, it's time for you to cut them bushes. So he had already given me the pliers or the tools that I needed to do that. So I just went at it and started cutting back what I felt was needed. And then a couple weeks after, I was looking at it yesterday, and they look so healthy and so beautiful, and probably time for me to get ready to cut them again. But I noticed that they weren't growing wildly or out of place, but they looked very healthy, very green. And it's actually, normally this particular bush, I'm not sure what the name of the bush is, but it has like red flowers on it. And normally they only bloom in the springtime. But what I've noticed, I've trimmed them back twice now, and they've bloomed again. And so God had been dealing with me how sometimes in life we can attach ourselves or allow things to attach themselves to us, or there are some what we call low-hanging fruit that we sometimes choose or procrastinate with dealing with, or there are some things that grow and they are not being productive in our life. They are not producing fruit. And so God has to cut those things off or cut those things away. And sometimes he gives us the opportunity to do that. But how many of you, like me, sometimes we procrastinate, with getting rid of those things that we know are unhealthy for us, or do not need to be in our life. Sometimes we get involved in the wrong relationships or with the wrong people. We already know going in we're not supposed to, right? But maybe insecurity, low self-esteem, maybe just wanting to fill a particular void. We fill it with the wrong things, and then we find ourselves in this place, right? I'll speak for myself. I know that I have done that. But then God gives us those warnings, those red flags, those signs, that we either don't need to do it, or we need to, once we're in it, we need to get away. But sometimes we hang on to those things. And why do we do that? Hang on to those things that are unhealthy for us, not meant for us, and then it causes other things in our life. But I'm glad that we have such a loving and a forgiving God that no matter what place we find ourselves in, that He is always standing with loving arms ready to receive us, like the prodigal son, wanting us to come home. But in life, when we don't do that, then when God has to cut those things away from us, it do not feel good at all. And then there are some things that we may not even recognize, because we may be blindsided, or we may be focusing on so many other things that we don't even notice or see right at the moment what we have entangled ourselves in, or allowed ourselves to get mixed up in. But I do believe also in this season that God is pruning those things that were not producing fruit in our life. And so just like the bush that I have trimmed back, and it has blossomed again, and it looks beautiful, it looks healthy, that is what is going to, or getting ready to happen to you. That new life is getting ready to spring forth in you. And the things that have just been sitting there, once you go through your pruning process, that you are going to experience new life. Right now it doesn't feel good, and you want the hurt to be over with, you want the pain to be over with, you want God to kind of leave you alone for a moment. But it's part of the process. It's part of what God is doing in your life, so that you can become who He has called for you to be. And so I just want to encourage you to not abort the process. Sometimes we can come out before we are done. I was cooking some pancakes this morning, and you have to make sure, a lot of times it'll look brown on the outside, but the inside is still not done. And if we don't leave it on there, then we can have this gooey pancake, or gooey cake, or in the inside is not completely done. So we want to make sure that we are completely done in this process, so that we can be all that God has called us to be. I pray that you all remain safe, that you all remain healthy in your mind, body, soul, and your spirit. And I pray that God gives you new life, new energy, the wisdom that you are seeking from Him, the joy that you may have lost in this season, that it comes back to you, that He will give you joy, that He will give you peace, peace that passes all thine understanding. And we know that if we keep our mind, our thoughts on Him, that He will give us perfect peace. And I pray for you, and I hope that you enjoy your day today. And don't worry, you're not in this by yourself. We're in this together. I love you with the love of the Lord. Be blessed.